Hey, beautiful besties, and welcome back to another tutorial with me. This is Alivetru and this is Vsafrique brand. Today we're going to be learning how to style this AutoGele, Ankara Fan AutoGele. We're going to be using 2 yards of fabric for this, and I'm going to be telling us why. Okay, so I need 4 parts for this particular piece. The very first one I'm measuring is 26 by 16 inches. This is the body of the AutoGele, right? The part where we're going to be using to cover our hair. This is like the body of the AutoGele, 26 by 16 inches. Now, the next part I'm going to be measuring is the part where I get to use to do the fan, right? For this one, I'll be needing just one piece of it. I'll be measuring 47. You can measure 50, 52, depending on um how plinted you want your fan to be. For mine, I'm using 47 for my Ankara. I'm using 47 by 14 inches, right? Then for the gum stay, this is hard gum stay. You can either use the hard gum stay or use the collar gum stay. This one I'm using is collar gum stay. It's really um strong, right? So I use the collar gum stay. You can use collar gum stay or any other hard gum stay that you have, right? So you measure 45 for the collar gum stay. Remember your Ankara is 47 inches. The collar gum is going to be 45 inches by 6 inches, right? 45 by 6 inches. That's what they're going to be measuring for this one. Now, I already ironed my own because I did not want NEPA to disappoint me as I went on recording this video. So I already ironed. I measured 1 inch down, right? 1 inch apart. And then on the other parts, like the sides, I also measured half inches. No, one inch each. That's what I used to fold. Then for the top, I also measured 1 inch. So literally, the length is now going to be by the time I fold and iron, or fold and sew, the length is now going to be um what's it called, 12 inches, right? If you remove 1 inch up, 1 inch down, it's going to be 12 inches remaining. I'm using the 1 inch on all the sides to sew or fold in, as the case may be. My gum stay still remains 6 inches by 45 inches. All right, so I'm going to fold it like this. I'm going to fold it like this, and I'm going to run my stitch on it, right? I'm going to fold it like this. This side, I'll fold it in, fold the other extras in, and just top stitch on it all through down to the other end, right? Then I'll set it aside, and then let me show you the next part. Now the next part I have is this one now is not compulsory, but I did mine. Actually added this part so that I can have an extra layer on the Ankara fan, right? I didn't want to sew my my what's it called? I didn't want to sew the pleated fan directly on the body of the Ankara. So I did an extra layer. For the extra layer, I measured 16 again, but like 16 inches by 28 inches. I measured 16 inches by 26 inches. That's the same length that I have for the body of my fan. I did 16 by 26 inches wide. Then I used what's this one called? Warden, right? The stiffener for this one is Warden. No, it's strong. I think, and it's flexible, it's soft, right? So just ask them for Warden, the one that has gum on it, so I can easily iron. So I used Warden for this part. So you iron your Warden to the fabric, right? According to the fabric, and set it aside. Now, the last part I have is this one is for the V part of the cap, right? That's the front part where you have the V. So this is how I'm going to get my V done. I have 2 pieces of this, and for my measurement, I'm using 20 by 13 inches. 20 by 13 inches. I have 2 pieces of this. Okay, so I'll set that aside and then I'll come back to it. So for the very first part, the body of my my AutoGele, I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and fold it in like this, fold the edges in like this, right? And just sew it all around. So fold it in like this and fold and just sew it all around so that it can be neat. The next part is the V shape, right? To get the V shape. So I'm going to take this also to my sewing machine and sew it all around so that it's also neat. I don't have any parts fraying. So the next thing I'll do now is to get my office pin, and then I'm going to begin to pleat, right? I'm going to pleat, fold it like 2 inches in. Just watch what I'm doing, right? So you can see my hand movement. Fold it like this and use your office pin to hold it down. You do this all to the end. So you have about 5 to 6 planes, 5 to 6 planes in place. When you're done doing this, you take it to the sewing machine. You're going to top stitch on it so that it stays in place. When you're done with this, the next part, you're going to take the both of them and place them on top like this, crossing them so that I can have the V shape down there. If you only want to be visible, you place it properly so the V can show. Then you're going to top stitch like this. Then when you're done with top stitching, you will take the what's it called, the body of the cap, and place it on top of the fabric, on top of it, sewing them together from here to here, from here to here. When you're done, when you turn it over, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be looking like what you actually want. Now when that is done, you take it to the sewing machine, right, and do that stitching I just talked about. Now for each of the lines that you have sewn, for each of them, you're going to be running them through. Ensure that you lift one part of the flap and sew under, like do your sewing under, so that it's not so obvious that you sewed, right? So that the thread is not showing that you should or sewed, or it's not too obvious that you sewed. Of course, it's an auto gele, but you don't have to let the world know that you sewed it. So you go ahead and just top it like this till where you have the V part. Ensure that the thread is not showing in any way. Stitch to the end. You do this for all of the layers or all the lines. Now, when you're done, you do the same thing for the other part of the V, right? Do the same thing. The reason why you are doing this is so that it can stay in place. So that when you are now forming your cap, you will not struggle with it bulging out. Even if you iron it, if you don't hold it in place, like you don't sew it down to hold it in place, it's still going to bulge out. So the best thing to do is sew it down so that it's not bulging out. Now, when you're done with all of the sewing, the next thing to do, you are not going to do one last of stitching, right, from where the body of your fabric is. You sew it straight down and do the same thing for the other side. When you're done, the excess, whatever excess you have, you're going to cut it out. I had this excess because I measured more than 20. I didn't realize I measured more than 20. I actually did 22, so I had this essence. So you should do 20, and if you have any essence, you're going to just go ahead and cut it out. When you're done sewing everything like this, the next thing you want to do is to attach your Velcro, or if you prefer to use a rope, right? If you prefer to use a string, you can just go ahead and sew your string and attach it. But for this particular one, I'll be using a Velcro so that it's easy for the client to adjust it on her head. For my Velcro, I have 4 inches, right? I did 4 inches. You could do five, you could do six, but for mine, I used 4 inches, right? So I'm going to place it at the tip. I'm placing it on the V, the part that I call the V fabric. So I'll place it down here. One is going to be on top of the fabric, facing up, like facing the right side, and then the other part is going to be underneath on the other left hand side, right? It's going to be underneath the fabric, facing the right, facing the back. When you are done sewing it, you're going to see that you'll be able to, have it kissing and telling each other. Like that's why they call it a hook and loop, Velcro or kiss and eye, and hook and eye rather, or kiss and tell, anyone that you prefer to call it. So when you're done sewing it like this, you go ahead and check it out to be sure that you are correct, right? So that you don't make any mistakes. Now, when you're done with that phase, the next thing that I want to do is to go ahead and sew the extra, the one I said I want to use for extra layer, right? I'm going to go ahead and sew it. You're going to top stitch, fold in, and top stitch the both of them like this. The right side facing front, right? You're going to fold in. So you do this for all the parts, like this corner and the other part, just the same way we did for the fan part, right? The fan area. In the same way you're going to sew this. When you're done stop stitching this, the next part you're going to do is to go ahead and make the extra layer, and then attach it to the body of our cap that now has the V shape, right? So we're going to go ahead and attach it to the body of our cap that has the V shape. We're going to be using hand needle to stitch it together because this is going to be thick, so we're going to be using hand needle to stitch it together so that it looks neat as well. But before we go ahead and form that, let's go ahead and first of all form the layers, right? We're going to fold this into 4 different steps. If your fabric it's you can try to do maybe five, but for mine I did four different foldings, just the same way you fold when you want to do a bow tie. So I folded this, and then at the middle there, I went ahead to use my needle to hold it down together, tack it together so it doesn't, move about. Well, after I was done tacking, I then took this to the fabric, the body of the fabric, which now has the V shape or the V part, right? I'll go ahead and just use my needle and thread and still tack it on top of it, joining it from one edge to another, or to the other. When you're sewing this, ensure that it's 26, so it's supposed to be like from the beginning of the body of the fabric to the end of the body of the fabric. Go ahead and ensure that it's properly placed so that it doesn't look scattered or untidy when you are done. Now let's get the fun parts ready. Like I already mentioned, I'm going to close off the edges, right? Folding it in and closing it off. Now ensure that when you're closing off, the fabric, the what's it called, the gum stay that you're using is at the very tip, like at the very tip. If there's a space in between this tip where my hand is right now, if there's a space there, when you're doing your fan or you're doing your folding, it's going to be giving you gaps. It's not going to be lapping properly. So please ensure that it's at the tip when you're folding. Now when you're done sewing the edges, the next part that you want to do, the next part is to get the plinth. I'm sorry my camera wasn't properly positioned here, but please watch carefully so you don't miss any part. You're going to start from the edge of the what's it called of the material, and you're going to fold in a slanty manner. You'll take like 1 inch in and fold. Take like 1 inch in, 1 inch in, and then you're going to fold. Please look at the way my hand is, right? It's not straight. I'm not folding straight. I'm folding in a slanty manner. One on top of the other, one on top of the other, right? Or one underneath the other, not on top now, but underneath the other. So it's going to be slanty. If you're not getting this slanty effect, then you are not getting it right, right? When you're done gathering your planes, you're going to take your needle and thread and hold it in place, right? Hold it together. Now, when you are done, this is what it's going to look like. When you get to the end, just go ahead and fold the other part down, just the same way you started. You're going to fold the other part down so that you have something like this, and then you're still going to tack this together, right? This is what you're going to look. This is what's going to look like if you're using the right stiffener, and if you're able to pick the what's it called? If you're able to pick the fan properly. If you didn't get the process on how I did that fan picking, please leave it in the comment section so I can record a different video showing you how to do the fan picking. But if you got the process, then this is what yours is going to look like, right? Now, when we are done with this, the next part we're going to do is to take this to the body of the auto gele that we already have, the V shape attached, we have the extra layer attached, and then we're going to now add this one on top of the extra layer, still using the tacking method. Right? You're going to tack this to that part. You're going to tack this neatly to that part, ensuring that your sewing is not too obvious, it's not showing at the front that you're attacking something. If you have a mannequin here, then this becomes easier for you to operate, right? You're going to just keep fix your also gele or your mannequin head, and then you're going to carefully use pins to attach the fan right to the body of the gele. Remember, you're putting it on top of the extra parts, right? You're putting it on top of the extra part that we have sewn or that we use need to tack together. So you're going to just use your needle, your pin, office pin to place this together. And when it is, properly placed and looks exactly how you want it to be, the next thing you're going to go ahead and remove it from there, or you can just go ahead and use your needle and thread and begin to tack it exactly directly on the mannequin. But if you can also remove it on the mannequin, just go ahead and remove it from the mannequin. Use your needle and thread, and then you begin to tack. When you are done, right? When you are done, this is what it's going to look like. When you're done placing it with your office pin, this is what it's going to look like. The final part of this piece now is that I want to attach a rope. I want to attach a rope to this. So I'm going to go ahead and just sew an extra strap. Now this strap now I'm going to be attaching it not to the what's it called, not to the V-shape part. No, I already added velcro there. For this one, I'm attaching it where I have that extra, or at the tip where I have my fan, right? The tip where I have my fan. That's this part. I will just sew the rope, and then I'm still going to use needle and thread to pack it together. I'm going to ensure that I hide it inside the foldings. When I hide inside the foldings, I'm going to my needle and thread to pack it into place, ensuring I pack it properly so that it's not moving about or it's not going to easily pull out. And when that is done, I am done. The reason why I even added this extra rope is so that when the person uses the velcro part, and then it's still feeling like it's free somehow, person can easily and conveniently use the extra rope attached to tie. Then the what's it called, the extra from the body of the AutoGele. Person can also tie and then hide it underneath. This way is looking neat and there's no rough edges. I really do hope that you found this helpful. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, leave a thumbs up for me, and leave a comment, right? Your comment can serve as a guide on what other topic I should create a video around. If you have any part that is confusing and you want me to do an explainer video for, also tell me in the comment section, and I'm going to be dropping a video on how to get anything I did not understand correctly. Now this is the final look of the auto gele when I was done, right? This is what it now looks like. I'm very certain that this is lovely. I already sent my client the picture and she really likes the outcome. Tell me in the comment section, will you be trying this? And see you in my next video. Bye.